Honorable Ezigboama, you've had a national organizer going to court on this matter. Alexander Fenyumak, who is a minority leader, has also written quite extensively on it. I have that particular statement. And now the vice president has also found it necessary to wade into the matter.
Yes, Muru, these are very worrying times, if you should ask me, because we've been in this country where, as we went around to campaign, the message from the youth is all about employment and unemployment.
Okay.
And as a country, we have a responsibility to provide employment to our people whenever there are vacancies for people to get or to apply and get employment in various government agencies. Now, the so-called appointments or employments that were done post-December 7th, we have checked from all institutions, and you get to know that these are recruitments that just don't happen as an event. They are processes that leads to employment of people into the public sector. We have institutions that are guided by different regulatory regimes when it comes to employment. So if you take Ghana Revenue Authority, for example, where I had come from, the GRA Act mandates GRA as a body to do their own recruitment and appointment based on certain processes and procedures. If you take nurses and teachers, if you take the security agencies, they all have their processes and procedures when it comes to recruitment. And all of those exercises can never happen in a day. If you go to Ghana Revenue Authority, for example, the process for one to be engaged would take you not less than 3, 4, 5 months before you are employed. And so I always say, I got my employment into GRA in December 2003. That was not a political year, but it was in December when I got my appointment to work in VAT then. And so if today somebody should be employed in December in GRA because it is a political season, why should that be an issue for one to say that you are going to terminate the appointment of that person? And so the issue that is bothering Ghanaians are that the chief of staff who issued the directive, remember, he had earlier issued a directive to all government agencies to submit a report to him concerning all recruitment done post-December 7th.
Yes.
So it means that he had received all the report from government agencies. And then he has a better view to say, okay, let me review the conditions upon which these recruitments were done. And are you telling me that when the chief of staff did his review, he was convinced that all of these recruitments that were done breached processes and procedures? Is that what the chief of staff is telling us, or the government is? That cannot be. That cannot be. And it is completely wrong for a government appointee or for the president or for the chief of staff to issue a blanket letter to all government agencies to revoke appointments made in December, post-December 7th. Where is he getting the authority and mandate from? Go through the Constitution. We are governed by laws. The Constitution doesn't give him that mandate. The Act in this country doesn't give him that mandate. These are people who are employed based on different regulatory regimes. And so where is the chief of staff's letter coming from? On which authority? And then when you read the letter, he's saying that on good governance. Who defines good governance? Who defines good governance upon which the chief of staff will issue that blanket statement? And then people have been employed. And one thing I find amazing is this tendency to think that when people are recruited, they are recruited on political lines. That is unconscionable. How can you determine that 500 or 600 people recruited, whether into the police service or in nursing or in teaching or in GRA, are NDC or NPP sympathizers? Where did we get that mentality from? Are you telling me that prior to the election, all the recruitments that had been done from 2017 to 2024 were all NPP appointees? Are we saying that in the first NDC, Mahama, all the recruitments that were done in government services, teachers, nurses, police, and all of that were done on political basis. So why are we then putting this particular recruitment under the ambit of politics? We are destroying this country, for goodness sake. People have gone through due process to be recruited. And then they start work, and the next morning the government comes and issues a fiat. They'll go and stay home. I'm going to do a review to see whether it followed due process. Why don't you complete that process before coming up with a letter to terminate those you think did not go through due process? Why do you want to push everybody out? Do you know the number of people that are affected here? People were giving letters way before, even if it is after December 7th. The mandate of any government who is in power is on to 6 January 2024. Are we saying that any decision taken by a government prior to December 6th can be cancelled or revoked when a new government comes to power? Didn't the NDC make recruitment in 2016 when they lost election and power? Domelevo, wasn't he given a letter by His Excellency, the President, before he left? What informed all those appointments that were made between December 7th and January 6th when John Mahama was president number one?
What did you say at the time when Domelevo and the Strach boss were appointed at the time?
If you say me as a person, as a party, if you put it as a party, of course we had concerns that the timing was wrong.
Okay.
It was the timing. We raised issues about timing. So if I raise time, okay, a new government has been given a mandate. It is coming in the next 1 month. And then you give a new appointment. This is a position of an auditor general.
Yeah.
You set a new auditor general at such a time around the 17th or 20-something of January. The new government is saying, I have an issue. You could have waited for me to come in and then go through a process and do it. When you did it, the government did not revoke the appointment. We expressed concern, but he was not revoked. He worked until he got to a time where whether it is retirement or conditions under which he was removed, that is a different day to look at it. But his appointment was not revoked because it was properly done under the laws of this country. So my point is, on what basis you want to give employment to people? People are struggling for jobs. You have come in as a government. Yours is to even open more opportunities for people to secure jobs. Why are you sacking people and saying that you are now going to go through the process again and you are going to make it transparent and you are going to make sure that it is not NDC NPP? Why do we think that recruitments are based on political lines? If they are Ghanaians, it doesn't make sense. People are recruited into government nurses. These are cohorts. People who completed nursing training at a particular year. If it comes to teachers, they are Ghanaians who had finished teacher training at a particular point in time. They are crying for jobs. Government is unable to absorb and recruit them. And then clearances are being sought every now and then. So when clearance comes, you need to go through a process to make sure that people are recruited. And we are saying that because their recruitment came at a point in time, we should sack them. Now, let's go to others. You see, if you were even targeting specific individuals, I have problems. Like, you go to Senate also, they said the appointment of one of Safuma for cyber security has been revoked. It is Senate or whichever NC's authority to employ and then to terminate under the labor laws of this country. But if the information behind the termination is not based on the person's competency or the person's ability to function, but because the person is tagged by name or by or origin or by politics, then it flouts the constitution of this country. That is discrimination. The constitution is saying...
Aziboma, during the joint transition team,
yes,
during the work of the joint transition team, Ofosu Kwashi was then at the time was the secretary and
That's
also
correct.
Was speaking for the team. We were all here.
That's
and we heard him loud and clear.
Yeah.
Where they kept drawing your attention to what they called last minute or 11th hour recruitment.
Correct.
And they mentioned the fact that, look, we're not in a very good place. The economy is not in a good place.
Yeah.
And that recruiting these people at this time was only going to impose some kind of fiscal challenge or fiscal difficulties on the government that was coming. In any case, you had lost an election. And so, yes, you have a constitutional legitimacy because you're still in power till the 6th of January, midnight, 6th of January. But you have lost maybe political and moral legitimacy.
That's correct.
So allow us to come to power and look at these recruitment. They mentioned it once. I mean, we're here, we talked about it, discussed it. And yet, you went ahead and recruited these guys. Now, the other question is this, that after 8 years, been in power for almost 8 years, why do you wait? Let's even assume that the recruitment processes started 3 or 4 months before 7th of December. Why did you have to wait till that last minute before? And here we're not talking some 20, 30, 50. We're talking thousands of, Ghanaian employees whom you've put in there. Why? Why did you do that?
Yes. So that is the context in which I was saying.
Yes.
That when it comes to recruitment of people,
yes,
it goes through a process.
Right.
The authorization for recruitment had happened way before time. And nobody knew the outcome of an election prior to it. So if, for example, whether in GRE or in the security service or in teachers or in nurses, you want to start a recruitment process, there is no way you will tell me that we knew we were going to lose the elections in December, and so we're recruiting to tie the hands of the incoming government.
We're talking after December 7th.
Yes, I'm coming. I'm saying that, so right after you've entered into December 7th and we have lost the elections, that is where I'm coming from. That the chief of staff has picked data on all the arms of recruitment that has happened. And I am saying on record that not all of these recruitments that had happened post-December 7th were all done in haste. My point is that you cannot say that because a government lost an election and has gone through due processes in recruiting people who clearances have been made. Clearances have been made. People need to go and sit and perform certain functions. And you are saying that we should stop all those processes and allow the new government to come and now come and see whether, okay, these teachers that you want to recruit, whether it is fit for purpose or this. We have given people authority and mandate to work. So I agree with you. If those appointments or recruitments were done without financial clearances, then it's an issue. Because then we are tying your hands to come and take responsibility for people that have not been budgeted for. But if budgets had already been made available, when the government came to power, all the things that they are doing, where are they taking the money and the resource from? Is it not from the same taxes that were collected by the NPP government before December 7th and after this, January 6th? Tell me how
to reconcile the position you've just taken and that of your very good friend, Vincent Kwasefwa, in 2016. I'm going to read something that he put out. Okay. Now, this is what Vincent Kwasefwa said. I'll come to you, don't worry.
All that you're doing, in fact, every single thing that I've noted here.
Oh, he's asking all your questions for you.
Oh my God! I'm taking the wind out of your sails there. No. That's just my final question.
No, but that is good.
Yes.
It means that we are thinking.
Okay, that's fine.